Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And it's the final race of the 23 season today as we get ready to get ourselves a new champion. Hello there, Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three partners who are all in Arizona today, starting with the two guys sharing a... I guess you guys are in the same place, right? Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt.
Yeah, we got a pretty nice house out here, and likes being in the Valley of the Sun, considering it was 25 and snowing when we left.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's hard to believe we're at the championship race already. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. We were down in Daytona, ready for the 500 to start the season, and here we are already. The season's going to wrap up today. Sunny and 90 here in Phoenix.
Yeah, perfect weather. And PJ Noodleman is at an undisclosed separate location. Are you on the road yet?
Not yet. It sounds like everybody's starting to load up, so I will be en route as we're on the air here.
Radio, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Last week at Martinsville, Ryan Blaney was your winner, putting himself into the Final Four, making it the youngest Final Four in the history of what we'll call the chase. Dan, can you believe it's been 20 years already?
No, I can't. You start saying it, it's like, wow. I mean, 20 years ago, Matt Kenseth was the champion, and then spawned the whole chase era, and then the last, what is this, 10 years now, I think, of the winners decide all?
2014, I think, was the first one.
Yeah, winner takes. Yeah, I guess. Is this really the best possible scenario? I mean, I know it creates excitement, and we want excitement, but in my little narrow world, it seems to me that a champion should be a body of work that is 36 races instead of one finish at one race, which is essentially what it comes down to. Am I wrong?
It pretty much follows all of the other sports. I mean, this week we saw the Texas Rangers win the World Series. They were not the best team all year. We see this in sports throughout the year. The Bucks were the best team in the NBA last year. They were out in the first round. So NASCAR is pretty much just following what the rest of the stick and ball world has been doing for years with a playoff system. There really is no way to do it other than giving the champion to the guy who has the most points at the end of the year, which we did. And Kenseth stunk it up by winning, the second race of the year that year, and he never won another race the rest of the year. He was just consistent. So, I don't know. You can take it and leave it however you want it, but this is the way playoffs are in all forms of sports. So, I guess I'm okay with it.
And I think they did it that way just to compete with those other kind of sports, because I think you're TV-wise, which makes a big deal right now. The TV deal money is huge. I think you have to look at ratings, and to get somebody interested in watching one event, this is how you do it. And I think that's what they're looking for. People like us who spent the whole year going to all these races, we're kind of in the minority in the big picture over all these fans out or viewers out there. That's why they go this route. I didn't like it when it started. I mean, being at some of these events, it is exciting to watch. I'm not sure, integrity-wise, if it's great to do it the whole way we're doing it, but that's what it is.
And it puts butts in the seats. I mean, let's face it, Friday and Saturday, those are the biggest truck and Xfinity crowds I think I've seen all year. And people
I thought so too.
Yeah, they know.
You also get to see people pull out a clutch move to get into the playoffs. I think you get to see some people really rise to the top and time when it really matters.
Yeah. I guess you guys are giving all the right answers. And everything you said is completely true. It's the youngest Final Four in the 20-year history of the playoff system. William Byron and Kyle Larson are the only two that all four of us so-called experts picked to be in the Final Four. Christopher Bell is in there for the second year in a row. Good for him. And last week's, I wouldn't call him a surprise winner, Ryan Blaney. I think if there's any surprise, it's why only one of three Penske cars is the only ones in there. The other two Penske cars have been really pretty bad all year long. I say that it's a relative term. Logano, still will win races, but that two car. Why is that guy still in the car? I suppose you're going to tell me it's because his dad runs Penske.
Bingo. And he won the Daytona 500 in his Cup Series, his first season as a Cup driver.
Yeah. I mean, but that's only going to carry you so far. The 12 has really come on strong, though, in the last 8 races. I mean, they're the best team, I should say, over the last round of 8. And into the final deal, and I don't think any of us we didn't see it coming. PJ did. She got 3 of the 4 right. I mean, she's the one that put Ryan Blaney.
Only one.
I had Ryan Blaney as my first 4 out, and it's going to be interesting today to see how it goes, because in practice on Friday night, which was kind of in the dusk, he was probably the best car, and now when they qualified yesterday in the super hot sun, he's the slowest of the 4. So we're going to see how these guys tweak on it. It's kind of weird how they did practice. I mean, we even talked about it. The Xfinity cars practiced first on Friday in the sun. Their race ended in the dark yesterday. The Cup cars rolled out, when it was getting cooler out. The temperature dropped about 20 degrees. So I don't know if NASCAR did that just to mess with them or what, but you could tell the Hendrick cars weren't that good. We're all a little like, oh boy, I don't know. And then they roll out for qualifying yesterday, and they're only 2 of the playoff cars that actually made it to the top 10.
Yeah, I was sitting in with Brian, and I asked him, why are we practicing now? Because this time the race is going to be long over.
Yeah,
I'm sure it has everything to do with the TV schedule.
There you go. Exactly.
Bingo. You think of the most important things. By the way, William Byron will start from the pole at 132.597 miles per hour. Kyle Larson starts 4th. Christopher Bell starts 13th, and Ryan Blaney starts 15th. I cannot tell you that I think it's any consequence whatsoever of those 2 cars starting back a little ways. If you didn't believe me, you might have noticed yesterday during the Xfinity race, it didn't take long for that 2 car to have a problem and be completely at the back of the field. And the next thing you know, here he is up racing up for the lead. So
7 and the big thing about the different series, though, it's a different car. What worries me about the Cup cars, they shift during laps and how you're able to pass. I mean, starting back there, I'm not sure passing is as easy or not easy in the Cup Series. It's probably easier to do in the other car because the car is not shifting, so they're actually having spots where they're moving up the racetrack and opening some doors to pass. I'll see in the Cup car. I don't know how you can get going, and maybe a struggle to get through there. They may have to do some pit work to get to the front.
It will be televised today on NBC. The green flag is at 2:32 Central Time. The forecast, as you may have heard Brian mention, sunny and 90 degrees, 28% humidity. Coverage starts right here on the Big 920 at 1 o'clock, and you can also hear it on the iHeart app. So the biggest day in NASCAR's season comes down to this, and it has been a pretty well-attended weekend. Trucks, I don't think have had a better crowd than they had this last Friday night for an absolutely embarrassing race. Good God. It was supposed to be 150 laps. It went over by 29 laps on 4 extra overtimes. Come on. You guys, they're doing their best to look like ARCA drivers. You're supposed to keep taking steps upward. And it just goes to show you it's these young rich kids who really don't have a clue that are coming up and one after the other and taking each other out. And Carson Hocevar made himself no fans whatsoever after taking out Corey Haim, who clearly had the best of the 4 trucks that were racing for a championship. But
Corey Haim didn't do himself any favors doing the intentional takeout himself. I think any fandom he would have won from that, he just ruined.
And we also talked before we went on about the difference between what Corey Haim did and what Matt Kenseth did a few years ago at Martinsville, taking out Joey Logano. Part of it was they were both racing for the championship, both racing for the lead on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth was down a lap, and even though it was clearly a payback on both cases, in this case, they were both still in the race and still racing for the championship. So I don't know if that's, the only difference. I just wonder. Haim said some of the right things, but do you think he got taken into the hauler? If he did, nobody talked about it. We're glad you're listening to the championship show here at Phoenix, and we're going to take a break and be right back.
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation. Happening now.
Listen for the keyword weekdays 9 to 5. Then go to our website and simply enter. Check it out at thebig920.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com. Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series puts the green flag in the air, and we are racing. 2023 comes to an end at Phoenix Raceway.
Now into the fence, now is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin hits the wall.
Who will forever cement their name among Cup Series champions?
He needed to win, and he's done it as he comes across the line.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship.
Sunday, coverage starts at 1 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
We were just talking about the crowds, how great they've been. Friday night for the truck race. Christian Eckes won the race after those 4 overtimes and guys running into each other and really embarrassing themselves. I don't know that NASCAR is to be blamed for that. I think that the drivers just have to have the finger pointed at them. They just didn't perform well, unfortunately. There's no other way to put it. But Christian Eckes was the survivor and won the race. Ben Rhodes won the championship. Mr. Bubbly, his second championship. By the way, that Eckes winning, I don't know if any of you guys heard the interviews with Eckes after the race. You would have thought somebody shot his dog. He was down. He was whining because he was not, he thought that with a performance like that, it was good enough to win a championship. But of course, he wasn't in the Final Four, so it didn't matter. And for that, the guy sounds, yeah, we're really disappointed. You won the race. Be happy.
I do see where he's coming from a little bit because the winner of that race is overshadowed a lot by the champion if it's not the same. But as far as that truck race went, that was shaping up to be an okay event. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a pretty good race. I mean, Carson Hocevar's team made the pit call to flip the script on him so they can go and have a shot at it, and he had a shot, but he was on older tires. And then when Corey Heim caught him and passed him, he raced him hard, which is good. You know, I like that fight in the guy. That's great. But then there comes a point when you're past at that point where the guy's got better tires, and you just got to understand that the only way to get back is to take him out, which is what he did. He didn't think big picture there. That I think as you mature, you realize there's a point where you're just beat, and in order. They don't have a good idea of the integrity of the sport. You know, the sport's bigger than you. It's not always going to be. And the same with Corey Heim. You know, taking the guy out and wrecking him at the end and really messing up the championship for Grant Enfinger really has huge consequences. I think a lot of people aren't going to like that.
That was coming to the white flag when he pulled that. You know, I mean, Grant Enfinger was about to...
Hold up. I'm eating breakfast right now, and you need to hear about this. Have you ever tried Daily Harvest? My mind is literally blown. I'm enjoying a strawberry peach smoothie made with strawberries, peaches, goji berries, raspberries, and gluten-free oats. Wow. Just wow. It's a fruit explosion. I also got this oat bowl from Daily Harvest. So delicious. There's real fruit in here, and even some veggies. It's not freeze-dried or artificially flavored. Sorry, I just can't believe how delicious everything is. I want to start every morning like this. Daily Harvest meals are quick, nourishing, and so flippin' good. They're made of sustainably sourced fruits and veggies and delivered right to my door. You got to get in on this. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off your first order. That's dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off. Again, dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Take the white flag, and Rhodes was behind him. They were chasing each other for it. So, Enfinger had about a 6-truck length lead for that. So that set the restart up. You have a restart then with Zane Smith leading. Ben Rhodes is behind him. And then Zane Smith missed a shift. Rhodes piles into the rear end of him, and then that sends everybody off. It got Grant Enfinger a flat tire, so he had to go in and pit and come back out. Then they had another restart. This time, Ty Majeski was up there. He was going for a shot at the lead there, and you got Jesse Love behind there, who in his first truck race earlier in the race, he's racing Corey Heim, his teammate, really, really hard. So I don't think Jesse Love had any clue what the hell was going on there, and he goes and wrecks a whole bunch of the field. So then they restarted again, and meanwhile, in all these restarts, you had Enfinger had a pit. He worked his way all the way back up there for the last restart. He passed 2 cars. He was on Ben Rhodes' rear end.
Boy, did he put on a show.
Yeah, and Ben's truck was very in bad shape because it was out of alignment and everything after he hit the back of Zane Smith. So Grant almost had a shot to win that thing anyway. But, the whole thing got spiraled out of control when Corey Heim decided to retaliate coming to the white flag. And that's where I think he screwed the whole thing up.
Well, and he's not going to have any fans for doing it.
Yeah, well, Hocevar
that he did what he did to Carson Hocevar.
Don't you think? I mean, Hocevar didn't do himself any favors. So in the meantime, for any negative that might be towards Corey Heim, I mean, people were cheering because he took Hocevar out. So I don't know. It comes out either way. Hey, the Xfinity series.
I think people like to see that. That people in the stands thought, "Oh, great, the guy took you out." That's the whole WWE factor, the people in the stand. That's great to see it. But big picture wise, I think if doing it on the track on the last lap of the championship race probably wasn't, you really shouldn't do it on the track anyway. You really shouldn't wreck a guy and wreck race cars. You should probably do it in the parking lot when no one can see it, like Harry Gant used to do in the old days.
Lame in the shade. The Xfinity Championship was yesterday. Cole Custer survived and won that one. I think the crowd was very, very pro Allgaier. It seemed to me that, of course, this was his 6th or 7th try at it.
6th.
Jeez, and he still hasn't won one.
He's been here 6 times, and in the past, I thought he was too nice. There were times where he could have been more aggressive, and he kind of alluded to that on Thursday during media day, that he understood he's got to be more aggressive when it comes down to it, and he was. He did what he had to do. He stuck it in there 3 wide and made the shot, and was actually leading their thing coming to the white flag. He just didn't have the car to hold him off and do it. So I was very happy with the Xfinity finish. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and it's cool that, Cole Custer, not a lot of, he didn't have a ton of fans back in the day, but he's a kid that's kind of, if you want to say, paid your dues, even though his dad is, the main guy at Haas Automation.
Yeah.
Won an Excuse Me Cup race back during the pandemic year, no fans at Kentucky. Just didn't have the performances, got demoted back down to the Xfinity Series. You didn't hear him whine about it or nothing like that. Didn't have the greatest year this year. I thought we all expected maybe a lot more out of him. But then again, Stuart Haas hasn't been good all year. And, was able to get himself into the championship race here. And he had the best car yesterday by far.
Yeah, they came out here. When it all started in Vegas, when Riley Herbst kind of kicked their tail by 15 seconds out. Ever since then, Stuart Haas on the Xfinity side has found something.
Nemechek had himself a pretty good car until right at the end and kind of just got shuffled out. You never really, to me, Cole Custer was one of those silver spoon types that got his ride because Dad ran the place. And when he got sent down, and like Brian said, he didn't whine about it. He just went out and won a championship. Well, now, we have heard, obviously, that the 10 car is going to be looking for a driver. And everybody's saying that Noah Gregson's going to be the guy coming over there. Well, what else does Cole Custer have to do to prove that he should be coming back to the Cup Series? And yet, it's already been announced he's going to be full-time in that 00 car in the Xfinity Series next year. So apparently, it's not going to be Cole Custer. What else should the young man do? Yeah, he's only 25 years old, and he, gets sent down. A little bit of a humiliating thing, but what are you going to do? But win a championship. Well, you win a championship, and then come back to me, and then we'll talk about it. Well, come on. I think
he's probably going to do similar to Austin Cindric. Cindric won a championship, then he ran it again the next year. Got to the Final Four again, and then was right there. And I think that's what Cole's probably going to. Another year in this, and we'll see where he does after next year.
Yeah. You expect him to get his old ride back in that 41 car? There's going to have to be some performance turnaround for Stuart Haas Racing because overall they're not very good. Has anybody noticed that? We'll be right back.
The Badgers tip off the season Monday night against Arkansas State. Matt and Butchie are courtside at 6.
Great 3 by the big fella. The big fella, of course.
On Milwaukee's home for the Badgers. 97.3 The Game.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Join Hall of Famer Tony Baselli and me from Cincinnati for a marquee matchup of hot teams coming up in prime time when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals play host to Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills. Can the Bengals claim their 4th straight win, or will the Bills move to 6-3? Find out on Sunday Night Football.
Coverage starts at 6:30 on Milwaukee's home for the NFL. 97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to the program. It's been Fords so far. Ben Rhodes is in a Ford. Cole Custer is in a Ford. Following that reasoning, Ryan Blaney should be our champion today if it's going to be a Ford weekend. Dan, didn't it used to be the Ford weekend at Homestead?
It was Ford Championship weekend for years. It was always done on Homestead. That's kind of why that race stayed there so long. Once the Ford sponsorship went away, they brought it here in Phoenix. And for years, it was always Ford Championship weekend, and it was the Fords weren't always around. And I think of all the years, not many times the Ford won it.
No kidding. During the Jimmy Johnson era, for sure. Greg is waiting to talk to us from far away Milwaukee. Hi, Greg.
Good morning, gentlemen. Hey, I have a proposal for you as far as the championship contenders. Somebody races all year, accumulates so many points, so many wins, and then they are not in the Final Four. And my proposal is, why wouldn't that make sense to give that an automatic berth to the Final Four and let the other three are filled in by, the playoffs?
Instead of by points.
It seems to me like you go all year and you're the best at what you're doing consistently, and then you're not in the Final Four. So I was wondering what you thought.
It is kind of that way. If whoever if they don't have a win, the final spot for each playoff round is filled by whoever had the most points.
And I think if you look at the regular season champion, and again comparing it to other sports, real racers hate doing that, but look at you get a bye in your other sports if you're in the top teams, but you don't get a guaranteed berth in the Super Bowl or a guaranteed berth in the World Series. I mean, the Braves this year had 100-some wins and they got knocked out in the second round. If you're the regular season champion, at the end of that, you have all those playoff points, which would carry you as far as they could. And had the 19 run better in the playoffs, he'd be here because his playoff points carried him pretty far.
Yeah, he would have been eliminated in the first round the way he ran. Those playoff points are what that did it for him, because he was just lousy in the whole thing, and he'd be the first to admit it.
But your argument about other sports doesn't make any sense to me. Those are other sports, other situations. And here's a guy, somebody that accumulates all these wins, is the best at what they're doing, and then they're not in the championship. And they should be given at least consideration to be in it automatically.
I get it, Greg, because real racers, I say the same thing. We're not like other sports. The problem is with the TV money now and the ratings and the way it is, we want to get as many people watching it. There's not as many true race people out there in the big picture of things that there should be, and they want to bring everybody else. That's why they make it like other sports. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sure, but again, somebody that's accomplished something as being the full-time driver and making the championship,
Yeah.
It too.
PJ, go ahead. Oh, I think PJ's on the road, and I think that her she may have dropped here for just a second. Greg, good points. We appreciate the call. Thank you very much. By the way, I don't even know if I gave the number, but it's 414-421-7901 if you want to weigh in on any of this. There's different considerations. There's playoff points. To me, they've made it so complicated that a dumbass like myself has got to sit there and figure out who's got playoff points, who's got this point, who's got that point, who's got them in the bucket. Come on, let's make it simple. It's just a little bit too much for some of us. And I know you've got your reasons for everything, but it's just simple it up a little bit, will you? We don't really need to. There was a press conference this week that was very interesting. Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, came up and was answering questions regarding different things having to do with our sport. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. We posted on our Facebook page. The destruction of the Fontana track has begun, and they asked Steve Phelps about it. And he was kind of complaining about construction costs not being what they hoped they would be. It's going to be a lot more expensive to build this new track. Now, does it sound to anyone like he's making excuses already for something that may not come out? He said, and it blew me away, Fontana will, quote, most likely be a half mile. What the hell does that mean? Most likely? Didn't you announce 2 years ago that they're going to put a half mile racetrack where this 2 mile track was? Now it's most likely?
That means not likely. I read that as not likely. I mean, he did not come out and say this is what we're going to do and this is what it's going to look like. I mean, there was we listened to this thing live on Friday, and it sounded, we both looked at each other and go, boy, that don't sound like that's going to happen. And the destruction that's going on now is for the portions that they're going to be selling off, because they have that piece of property there in California. They're not keeping it all. They're going to partition it off, and they want to build a half mile in the remaining parts. But he's talking about construction costs, and the environment right now is not good for doing a lot of construction. Correct. Your next question is going to be, what do they do with all the money that they did for selling the property? Well, they built a racetrack inside the Coliseum 2 years already. There's going to be a third year this year. That might be where that money went. And now you may not have the money to build this track. And I mean, they said, what somebody asked in a follow-up question, well, what are you going to do for 2025? And he right away says, well, we're not talking about the 2025 schedule yet. So he didn't say we want to be here. He didn't come out and say we want to be racing on that track by 26 or 27. He didn't say any of that. He just left
what
it.
he said
was deflected a lot.
He sure did.
It big time.
What he did say was timing, I don't know. Well, what kind of way is that to be a president of a company that has a major market in Los Angeles and is making a major investment to redo a racetrack, which really didn't have anything wrong with it in the first place? When Penske built that track back in the day, if I remember right, it was some sort of toxic waste dump, Dan, wasn't it, that they had to clean it up? The EPA required a big cleanup before they could ever build the racetrack there?
Just something like that. Nobody was going to build on it before, and then Penske went and made that track. But I get, what he's doing is they probably don't know. It's probably not going to be a short track because the construction costs and all that probably don't come and make it feasible. But then they can't just leave LA hanging. They're gonna have to do something with a big market in LA. You can't leave the second biggest market in the country without a race or without fans. Now they got the Coliseum to carry it here. So that's probably why he doesn't really know right now. There's probably things going back behind the scenes to figure out how do we keep LA somehow.
And then the other rumor floating around out there is you got one more year of the Long Beach Grand Prix under IndyCar's, tutelage, and then they got to renegotiate that contract. So there's people out there saying, well, maybe NASCAR would take that. I don't see that. Most of the people that run the Long Beach Grand Prix are big IndyCar fans, so I see that staying IndyCar. But that's another one hanging out there that they're probably looking at. If they're able to strike and get that, then there's no reason to have a short track.
We're glad you're listening to this Phoenix.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I got to change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99.
Get in zone.
What do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
Get in zone.
And do you have oil for my old work truck?
You can find the right high mileage oil to help it go farther right here at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Do you need to communicate and collaborate from anywhere? Vonage does that. With one streamlined app, you get full features that work on desktop or mobile wherever you go. Join video meetings and calls, respond to messages, and work from home, in the office, or on the road. You can even capture conversations on the go because the Vonage mobile app can integrate with your CRM. Now your small business can communicate like a big enterprise. See more of what Vonage can do for you at Vonage.com.
A pre-race program as we're getting ready to give ourselves a new champion. And will it be someone that's had it before, like Kyle Larson? Or will it be a new one, Christopher Bell or Ryan Blaney or William Byron? Any of them. There's no unlikable driver in the 4. We'll be back.
The Packers host the Rams today at Lambeau.
Snap to Love, looks the end zone, throws it upside. He's got Dobbs. Touchdown.
Doug Russell from Bart Starr Plaza. Kickoff at noon on Milwaukee's home for the Packers. 97.3 The Game.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series
puts the green flag in the air, and we are racing.
2023 comes to an end at Phoenix Raceway.
Now into the fence, now is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin hits the wall.
Who will forever cement their name among Cup Series champions?
He needed to win, and he's done it as he comes across the line.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship.
Sunday, coverage starts at 1 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Been racing out here in Phoenix now for 35 years. In 1988 was the first race, and every year, towards the beginning, the late great Ted Lake had a Wisconsin party that he put together, and it was well attended, let me tell you. And then after Ted passed away, Boring Bob kind of picked up and ran with it for several years, and interest kind of went down a little bit from those first years. It was just crazy. We had a little bit of a get-together this week out here, and it was pretty cool, and everybody having a good old time and having one or two, and in walks Boring Bob. We haven't seen Bob in a while. Pretty cool to have him out here, and a good time was had by all. We have a couple of callers that are waiting to talk to us. There's one guy calling from Daytona Beach. Dennis, what are you doing in Daytona?
Well, I took a week from East Troy to come down here, sit in the sun, and watch the waves.
Okay, what can we do for you?
A couple of things. Number one, I'll give you a prediction of the race. It'll be a Hendrick car with a last, whichever one has the best last pit stops. As Junior said, Hendrick always keeps his best cheating for the end.
You know, it's funny you say that because people were talking about that 24 car. A lot of black showed up around the corners of that car on the wrap this week, and everybody knows that black kind of throws the OSS scanner off a little bit.
Yep. The other thing, I've been thinking just about the status of the sport, and Jeff Gordon came out a couple of weeks ago and said that he doesn't want any of his drivers involved in a controversy. But yet during the time period when there was controversy, drivers going at each other, Earnhardt versus Gordon, Junior versus Gordon, Wallace versus Senior, that's when the sport was growing. So people in the sport have made this into white bread, and the attendance has suffered. And that's something they should really think about.
Interesting take, but, I would say racing overall has seen some declines, and part of it has to do with the economy. Part of it has to do with so many great drivers retired at the same time that we have to get used to the new, young, great drivers that are out there, and they need to build their fandom. Some of what you say is absolutely right. But, the sport will survive no matter what they do to it. As long as you have fast cars and guys with talent driving them, we're going to survive.
Okay. One final comment, being from Wisconsin, I think two final comments. I don't count well. Sam Mayer sure matured. And the other guy who's a coming star is Parker Retzloff. Where did this guy come from?
That's a really good question. We all asked ourselves about the same thing. He's from Rhinelander. Where did he race? We're not exactly sure. Dan, you seem to think that he was raced at State Park Speedway in Wausau?
He was in that Midwest Truck Series for a while. It was a black and yellow number 79 truck, and that's where
the last thing he did before he went down south. But, where did he start? I don't even know where he started. Was he a weekly guy?
Exactly where the start came from. But then he went down. He was big in the iRacing stuff for a while, and then had some starts here and there. Got this opportunity, has really made the most of it. I mean, he looks like he's there again next year for a full-time deal in that 31 car. In fact, that team may even add another car part-time car before we know we might see that. But his finishes are good. I mean, he's running, respectable and doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and that's not winning equipment. That's equipment that team has never won a race. So it's good for them to be moving their way up like that.
And he has looked good. Yeah. You're completely right. So a good point. We do appreciate the call, though, even if you're in Daytona when the rest of us are here in Phoenix, Arizona. But if you do want to call the program, 414-421-7901. I think we have time for one more caller. Let's see. Scott calling from Muskego. Hi, Scott.
Hey, boys. Good morning. It's nice.
Hi.
It's nice to hear you. Hey, I'm in downtown Charlotte setting up for a trade show at the convention center. I'm right across the street from the Hall of Fame. So I'm looking forward to watching the race at the BW3 restaurant at the Hall of Fame. Sounds like it's going to be the place to be today. But just wanted to say that I think it's William Byron's year. I think this is it with his pole position, number one pit stall. I think that's going to get it for him. Larson will be a tough opponent, but just wanted to express my opinion.
Very good. We appreciate the call.
And long-time listener, 30-plus years, you guys. Love you guys.
Oh, how about that? From Muskego, calling from Charlotte. Fantastic. Have a good time, and we appreciate the fact that you called us.
Byron's a guy that's been there all year. I mean, he's been up front, and he got the most wins, right? They have, 6 wins in that car? So, I mean, it makes sense.
One here in the spring.
When's the last time a 24 car won the championship? Does it go back to 01 with Jeff Gordon?
Good.
Yes, very likely.
You remember the year?
I was there. I saw him. Since 1999, I've been to the championship race.
Oh, my. Well, and you remember them all. That's what gets me. I've killed so many brain cells. There aren't many left. We're very happy that you tuned in here for this program that's coming to you. 4 of us are in Phoenix. 3 of us are hardwired, and 1 of us is out on the highway somewhere. And PJ is doing her best to stay connected. So we're going to hope that she's still hanging in there with us. We're going to sneak away.
I'm here.
We've got. Oh, there you are. Got some results for you from around the world of racing and some other fine things from.
God, real quick, our listener has told us Parker Retzlaff raced Bandoleros at State Park Speedway.
That's it?
That's it, along with Luke Fenhouse and Derek Krause.
From Bandoleros into the Midwest Truck Series, a very well-respected series, and from there, he moves south? Wow. Where's the money coming from is the next logical question. We'll be back. Hang in there.
$1,000 in inflation compensation. Happening now.
Listen for the keyword weekdays 9 to 5. Then go to our website and simply enter. Check it out at thebig920.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Join Hall of Famer Tony Baselli and me from Cincinnati for a marquee matchup of hot teams coming up in prime time when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals play host to Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills. Can the Bengals claim their fourth straight win, or will the Bills move to 6-3? Find out on Sunday Night Football.
Coverage starts at 6:30 on Milwaukee's home for the NFL. 97.3, The Game.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Special event season on the dirt side continues. We'll start Thursday night in Las Vegas, Nevada, the dirt track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Duel in the Desert for the IMCA Modifieds. They had 94 of them check in. They did preliminary twin features, paying $777 apiece. Cody Laney and Jake Pike were the winners Thursday night. The IMCA stock cars were also there, and Gabrielle Deschamps won that. Also, Thursday night at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina, the World Finals for the World of Outlaw Case Construction late models, the World of Outlaw Notch Engineering Sprint Cars, and the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds. In the late models, it was Mikey Marler and his brand new ride running for the team out of Iowa there, teammates with Shane Clanton and Tyler Brunig. So it was nice to see him get a win there in his brand new Longhorn. In the Sprint Cars, David Gravel was your winner, and the Big Block Modifieds was Matt Shepard. Friday night at Las Vegas, they did another round of twin preliminary features for the Modifieds. Ricky Alvarado and Austin Cool were your winners. In the stock cars, it was Dylan Thornton. Yuma, Arizona, the Cocoa Pot Speedway, the 56th Annual Western World Championships for the USRA, or the USAC CRA Sprint Cars. Dazen Persley was your winner. The 360 Sprints were there as well. Chase Johnson was your winner. Night number 2 at Charlotte for the World Finals. In the late models, it was Ricky Thornton Jr. The Sprint Cars was Brett Marks, and the Big Block Modifieds went to Tim Fuller. Last night, the grand finale at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, $7,777 to win the IMCA Modified feature, and Austin Cool is your winner. Cool
Number
connection there.
77.
A cool connection there, as I would say, with Austin Cool. His dad is originally from Sheboygan. Todd, you're good friends with his dad. You know the family. I know the family. That was really cool to see him get that win.
It was. You know, the kid took a couple of years off of racing so he could get his degree from Arizona State University, got himself a nice job, and went back to racing. And this is the biggest win of his career. And congratulations. You can't imagine what a great group that is.
Yes. Yeah, his sister is Taylor Cool. You see her run around Wisconsin every now and then in her sport mod. So, in the IMCA stock cars, Dylan Thornton was your winner. Admore, Oklahoma, the Southern Oklahoma Speedway for the Outlaw Modified Series, Rodney Sanders was your winner there. Columbus, Mississippi, the Magnolia Motor Speedway for the Crate Racing USA Nationals, $10,000 to win in the 604 crates. Mark Whitener got the win. Yuma, Arizona, Cocoa Pot Speedway, the final night of the 56th Annual Western World Championships. Dazen Persley made it 2 for 2 in the CRA Sprint Cars. In the 360s, it was Kevin Thomas Jr. And finally, at Charlotte, North Carolina, in the World Finals, the final night of the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series, Brad Sweet picked up the win along with his 2023 championship. In the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds, it was Matt Shepard, your winner there. And in the late models, it was Ricky Thornton Jr. grabbing the feature win, and Bobby Pierce is your 2023 champion of the World of Outlaw late models. That is everything for this week.
In the world of asphalt, the ARCA Menards West Series ran in conjunction with this championship weekend here at Phoenix Raceway. That was Friday night. William Swalich was your winner of the race. Sean Higgins.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like James. When he found out how much USAA was helping members save, he said,
"It's time to switch."
We'll help you find the right coverage at the right price. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Restrictions apply.
Ganori, the knuckle dragger, was your champion. Saturday, Cars Tour was running at Caraway Speedway. Brendan Queen was the winner, and your champion was Carson Quapple, who finished 11th, actually, in that race. Caden Honeycutt won the Pro Late Model race, and their champion in that division was the younger brother, Caden Quapple. He finished second in the race but picked up the championship. It is the All-American 400 weekend at Nashville. The JEG CRA All-Stars All-American 100 race was run last night. Your winner was Dylan Fetcho. Wisconsin's Nick Egan had some troubles, ended up finishing 28th. He only ran about a third of the race, unfortunately. Kind of a long way to drive to not be able to have much to show for it, unfortunately.
Kidding.
What's that, Todd?
I say no kidding. That's a long way to drive, yeah.
Yeah, long way to drive, too, for Gabe Summers as he was trying to make the All-American 300. They had some engine woes, so they didn't even take a qualifying time for the Stars National Tour Series. So long trip for them as well, too. But however, it's getting to be quite exciting for that. The All-American 300 will be later on this afternoon. Fast time is Willie Allen. Some other notables, Cole Butcher qualified third, picks up some points on Ty Majeski. They went into this race 8 points apart. Ty was leading. Now it's only 5 points.
Wow.
The spread that Ty has ahead of him. Derek Thorne, running Paul Schaefer's car, is qualified 4th. Stephen Nassy 6th. Bubba Pollard 12th. Majeski was 13th. Johnny Sauter qualified 14th. William Swalowich 16th. Ty Fredrickson, running a Richie Waters car, qualified 17th. Luke Fenhouse 18th. Jacob Gady 20th. And Austin Nathan 23rd. But then they do an invert, basically, or a draw. So the front row is going to be, I gotta find my note on that, sorry. Flipping around while we're driving. Front row is going to be, another knuckle dragger, Gio Ruggiero and Cole Butcher going to be on the front row to start that race later on today. So,
what concept?
Knuckle dragger, I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be an interesting one. It's 300 laps. It's a grueling race.
Wait a minute, it's 400, isn't it?
No, they call it the 400 weekend because there's that pro late model race that's 100 laps, and then this race is 300 laps. So together it makes the 400.
And it is going to be televised for those of you who get Racing America or MidwestTour.tv. Apparently, they will both be carrying the and this is the championship event for the ASA Star Series too. So a couple of championship events at the same time, right?
It is, and they have, like NASCAR, a lot of different ways that you can score points. So it's going to be a nail-biter coming down to see who gets the championship, whether it's Majeski or Cole Butcher. Like I said, Cole made up some ground on Ty in qualifying, so now there's only a 5-point lead that Ty has. But they give points for the most laps led. You get 5 points for just leading a lap. And then they have stage points as well, too. They're going to be 3 stages.
Yeah, same thing.
You know, that one, because Ruggiero and Butcher are both in Wilson cars, right? I wonder if they don't make a deal where, you know, Butcher goes out and leads some laps to get those, try to get that most laps led points.
Right.
That would
There'll
be
some team playing going on there.
Team playing. There you go. I'm not sure that's the most ethical way of doing things, but hey, you don't think that actually happens, do you? Interesting. All right, there's a couple other things that are going on in the world of NASCAR that we haven't touched on yet. Brad Keselowski wasn't here for qualifying. He flew all the way back to North Carolina. His wife was in labor. She had a boy. He finally has a boy. He had 2 girls before. Yeah, he's got that to look forward to. But so Cole Custer actually qualified the 6th car, but Brad will be starting from the rear today, and keep that in mind. But he's a new dad, and we haven't heard that he's got back yet either, by the way. He's supposed to be back.
He's supposed to be. And Cole was wondering last night if anybody heard from him after the race because he wanted to know how hard he can celebrate last night.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know how you mistakenly repaint a restart zone, but that's what NASCAR took this restart zone from where it was on the track here at Phoenix, and they moved it closer to the start-finish line, and supposedly that's what the problem was with all those crashes Friday night. Does that make sense, Dan?
Well, it might, because we saw like when the 38 truck missed a shift. I mean, by the time when the restart zone is back farther, you have more time to sort that out before you get to that fan out into the corner where everybody was going crazy. And
the dog leg.
The dog, yeah. That could have went to it. They knew it was that way. They asked the truck drivers before the race. They were okay with it. I don't know how you could have repainted it in that time. Anyways, they did it overnight, though, pretty quick, because it completely moved now.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of black paint, blue paint, and white paint.
Yeah, now they moved it. So, which also leads me to remind people they decided not to use the Stickum, the PJ1. No, not to be confused with our own PJ. This Stickum is completely different. And they just did away with it for this race. So we're going to take another break and be right back.
The Badgers tip off the season Monday night against Arkansas State. Matt and Butchie are courtside at 6.
Great three by the big fella. The big fella, of course.
On Milwaukee's home for the Badgers. 97.3 The Game.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series
puts the green flag in the air, and we are racing.
2023 comes to an end at Phoenix Raceway.
No, into the fence now is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin hits the wall.
Who will forever cement their name among Cup Series champions?
He needed to win, and he's done it as he comes across the line.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship.
Sunday, coverage starts at 1 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to the program. After Sheldon Creed was just raked over the coals last week by everybody having to do anything with Richard Childress Racing, all of a sudden, some commentators started coming out. Dale Jr. said, boy, I didn't think it was Sheldon Creed's fault. Kyle Petty said, boy, looks like some people at that RCR need to apologize to that young man. Well, that's actually what happened. Andy Petrie, who gave him a quick assessment after the race, came out and apologized publicly to Sheldon Creed. We never heard an apology from Richard Childress. I don't know if that's a public apology or if he did it in private. As funny as it was to us, it was pretty humiliating for the young man, and I thought he was very classy in how he handled it. And I wasn't that much of a Sheldon Creed fan before, but I have to tell you, I was rooting for him yesterday. That would have been a really nice way to end his relationship with Childress, and he was in it till the end too. So in that Xfinity race.
I did get to meet Richard Childress yesterday, and I asked him who the stupidest media member was that he's ever met, and he did not say me, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, Sheldon got the raw into that deal, and I kind of really felt bad for him last week when it happened, and you could tell a lot of people were kind of, coming to his back. He had a little bit more cheering when he was introduced to driver's intro yesterday and all that stuff. The one guy who hasn't really changed his tune is Austin Hill. He's still a prick like he always was, and he's not backing down from being the prick he is. So hope the worst for him going forward.
By the way,
to that.
Creed is going to be one of 4 drivers or 4 teams that Childress is. That is going to be for Gibbs Racing next year. Chandler Smith, the way we hear the story, will be in the 19 car. Sheldon Creed will be in the 18 car. The 20 car sounds like it's going to have 2 different drivers, right, Dan?
Sounds like it. It sounds like maybe I'd say Eric Almirola over there for half the season. Maybe William Sawalch, which makes sense. He's in that pipeline there. That looks like, and it may be a 4th car. Who knows? It could have bring another, maybe a 54 out to run like an all-star.
Driver of the week type of thing. You go for a championship for the car owner, but not for any particular driver. Crazy. By the way, they did announce or show the 24 body for Mustang next year, which has changed. The Mustang has been redesigned for next year. Toyota showed, apparently, I didn't see it, but apparently they showed their new body. Camaros are not being made anymore, and I'm just wondering what General Motors' plan is. What car is it going to be? So, are they going to come up with another mystery Australian car that was never available very much in this country, that SS? Or is it
Bolt?
There you go. God, the Bolt or the Volt or whatever the hell they call it now.
Though they do have an electric car made, and NASCAR's got an electric race car built, and they're going to test it in Martinsville. So. Oh
my God! What we won't do for politics, I guess, right? We're showing how up on it we are, and they're going to start testing an electric car. Wouldn't it be a hybrid? Would make a hell of a lot more sense. Is there such a thing as a super high performance hybrid?
IMSA has a lot of them. The GTP car that's in the IMSA, that's kind of a cool setup, very similar to Formula One. It runs on a motor when you're racing, but like we were in the garage area at Indy a couple weeks ago, and the thing would putter by you and you didn't even hear it because it was just running on its electricity. It's kind of a neat concept they have. I don't know where it would really be logical in NASCAR, but
Gibbs had one. They had an electric Camry that was using for pit stop practice. I saw it in their shop.
Oh, interesting. All right, we're getting to that point where we're going to give our wrong picks like we do every week for the race and for the championship. To me, I think it's the same pick I had last year. It seems like a slam dunk for me. I think Kevin Harvick is going to win his last race. He's got a pretty good car, starts third. He knows how to win here. I've been just torn over this championship. Other than the Toyota, which, if I have to pick one, I'm not going to want to go after a Toyota. I just love the other three. I love all four drivers, actually. But, Larson's been there, and he's supposedly the best driver alive. Ryan Blaney seems to be the romantic pick these days. Everybody wants to see that Ford win a championship. And, William Byron, Mr. Short Track this year, has been doing a lot of short track racing, and he sure is good. We've seen him. So, who are you going to flip a coin? The guy that had to be stuck in coach in a middle seat on the way out here, William Byron is who I'm picking, the people's champion. Dan, you're next.
I think I agree with you. I don't want to jinx Ryan Blaney, so I'll pick William Byron to win the race and the championship. It's been 9 years in a row now that the champion has won this last race. It hasn't ever since we did this winner-take-all format. The race is always won by the champion.
Ryan?
Yeah, everybody knows who I'm going to be rooting for, so I'm not giving a pick him. I'm not even going to mention his name, so I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. And I kind of like what you're saying, Todd. I think there's a shot Harvick has a shot to win this race, and if Blaney's running in the top 5 and Harvick is leading that race, I don't see those guys ruffling him up, and I don't see Harvick backing down. So that would be cool. I think the crowd will go nuts. It would be awesome. That's what I hope to see.
I'm taking Harvick to win the race, and I'm the only one who had Blaney in the Final Four out of all of us, and that's who I'm picking for the championship.
2 of us with the 24, 2 of us with the 12. You know what that means? Larson's going to win. I know how this works. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we're going to be enjoying a day in the sun today. Wherever you are, we hope you do the same. I hear it's pretty nice back in Cheese Land. So, don't go outside and enjoy the weather. Stay inside. Or if you do, take your radio with you and you can listen to the Big 920 and hear a champion today. Hey, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. LTN is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi. Thanks to our contributors, Paul Reichert and Aaron Baird, and to all of our listeners. We love you. See you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.